Imagine this. One morning, you wake up, check your bank account, and find it completely drained. For the customers of one major bank, this nightmare became a reality. We're talking about a heist that didn't involve ski masks or getaway cars, but lines of code and hidden digital tunnels. This is the story of a $20 million cyber heist, a crime that takes us deep into the shadowy corners of the internet. So, how did they pull it off? It all started with something deceptively simple: a phishing email. An employee at the bank received an email that looked just like an internal memo. A single click was all it took. That click installed a tiny, invisible piece of software called malware onto their computer. This wasn't just any malware. It was a sophisticated keylogger designed to record every single keystroke. For weeks, the hackers lay dormant, silently collecting passwords, security credentials, and internal network information. They were mapping out the bank's entire digital infrastructure from the inside, like architects planning a break-in. With the keys to the kingdom, the hackers didn't just rush in, they were patient. They studied the bank's transaction patterns, learning when large transfers were common and which accounts had less oversight. They were looking for the perfect moment to strike, a window where their massive theft might go unnoticed. This level of patience and reconnaissance is what separates script kiddies from professional cybercriminal syndicates. They weren't just guessing, they were operating with military precision. Then, the operation went live. Over a single weekend, a notoriously quiet time for banking operations, the hackers initiated thousands of small, automated transfers, instead of one huge $20 million transaction that would immediately trigger alarms. They siphoned the money out in increments of a few $1,000s each. These transfers were routed through a complex network of mule accounts, often belonging to unwitting individuals who had been tricked into participating. This layering technique is designed to make the money trail nearly impossible to follow. But where did all this stolen money end up? This is where our journey takes a turn into the infamous dark web. The dark web isn't something you can access with Google Chrome or Safari. It requires special browsers like Tor to enter, providing anonymity to its users. For these hackers, it was the perfect place to launder their stolen millions. They converted the cash into cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Monero. Why crypto? Because it offers a degree of anonymity that traditional banking simply can't. Transactions are recorded on a public ledger, the blockchain, but the identities behind the wallet addresses are masked. Inside the dark web's marketplaces, the hackers began the cleaning process. They used services called mixers or tumblers. Think of a mixer like a giant digital laundry machine. You put in your dirty crypto. The mixer jumbles it up with crypto from thousands of other sources, and then spits out clean crypto on the other side. This process breaks the chain of custody, making it incredibly difficult for law enforcement to trace the funds back to the original heist. It's a high-tech game of cat and mouse, played across a global, decentralized network. Investigators, however, weren't just sitting on their hands. A team of cybersecurity experts and federal agents began their own deep dive. Their first break came not from the digital world, but the human one. They analyzed the metadata from that initial phishing email. Buried deep within the code were fragments of a language dialect specific to a small region in Eastern Europe. It was a tiny slip-up, but it was the first clue that pointed them in a specific direction. Simultaneously, blockchain analysts were meticulously tracking the movement of the stolen funds. While mixers make things difficult, they don't make them impossible. By analyzing transaction volumes and timing, they could start to see patterns emerging from the chaos. They noticed that a significant portion of the cleaned crypto was being cashed out through a handful of specific cryptocurrency exchanges. These exchanges, while operating in a less regulated space, still had compliance departments. The investigators served subpoenas to these exchanges, demanding information on the accounts that were cashing out large sums. This is where the digital and real worlds collided. To cash out crypto into traditional currency, you often need to link a bank account or verify your identity. The hackers had used fake IDs and shell corporations, but under the immense pressure of the investigation, cracks began to show. One of the shell corporations was traced back to a known associate of a notorious cybercrime group. The group, known online as Phantom Syndicate, was infamous for their technical prowess and their audacity. They weren't just hackers. They were a full-fledged criminal enterprise with a hierarchy, specialists, and even a customer service for their dark web clients. They sold stolen data, hacking tools, and even offered hacking a suit. The $20 million heist was just one of their many operations. The final piece of the puzzle came from an insider, an informant within the Phantom Syndicate. Facing a long prison sentence for other crimes, decided to cooperate with authorities. They provided the crucial details, names, locations, and the inner workings of the syndicate's money laundering network. It was the breakthrough they needed. Coordinated raids were launched simultaneously in 3 different countries. Servers were seized, crypto wallets were frozen, and several key members of the syndicate were arrested. In the end, authorities were able to recover nearly $15 million of the stolen money. The remaining $5 million had already been spent or laundered so effectively that it simply vanished into the digital ether. The leaders of the Phantom Syndicate are now facing decades in prison, a testament to the relentless work of global law enforcement. So, what does this all mean for us? This story is a stark reminder that the biggest threats we face today may not come from a physical force, but from a keyboard. It highlights the importance of basic cybersecurity hygiene. Things like using two-factor authentication, being suspicious of unsolicited emails, and using strong, unique passwords are not just suggestions, they are our primary shield in this new digital battlefield. Banks and corporations are in a constant arms race against these hackers, spending billions on security, but often the weakest link is the human element. The dark web remains a complex and often misunderstood part of our digital world. While it's a hub for criminal activity, it's also used by journalists, activists, and citizens in oppressive regimes to communicate freely. It's a tool, and like any tool, its morality is defined by its user. The $20 million heist is a powerful story of crime and consequence in the 21st century. It shows us the incredible sophistication of modern criminals, but also the equally incredible ingenuity of those who work to stop them. It's a hidden war, fought in silence across servers and satellites, with the security of our digital lives hanging in the balance. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's a wild world out there, so stay safe and stay vigilant. If you found this interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the hidden side of technology. See you in the next one.